एवरीवन, आज मैं आपके लिए एक नया वीडियो लेकर आई हूँ जो कि टॉपिक है म्यूचुअल फंड्स। तो शुरू करने से पहले अगर आपने मेरा चैनल अभी तक सब्सक्राइब नहीं किया है तो सबसे पहले प्लीज़ सब्सक्राइब बटन पे क्लिक करिए और बेल आइकन मत दबाना भूलिएगा। जैसे ही मैं कोई नया वीडियो अपलोड करूँगी आपको उसका नोटिफिकेशन मिल जाएगा। और प्लीज़ मेरा वीडियो एंड तक देखिएगा। अगर आपको यह अच्छा लगे तो प्लीज़ 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 आई रिक्वेस्ट यू कि इसे लाइक एंड कमेंट ज़रूर करिएगा। तो चलिए अब शुरू करते हैं वीडियो के साथ। म्यूचुअल फंड्स। Mutual fund is a type of financial vehicle made up of pool of money collected from many investors to invest in securities like stocks, bonds, money market instrument and other assets. Mutual funds are gains or income for the fund's investor. A mutual fund portfolio is structured and maintained to match the investment objectives stated in its prospectus. History of mutual fund in India. Mutual funds history phase of inception 1964 till 1987. The first phase was marked by the setting up of UTI. Though it was a collaboration between the RBI and the Indian government, the latter was soon de-linked from the day-to-day operations of the Unit Trust of India. In this phase, the company was the sole operator in the Indian mutual fund industry. In 1971, the UTI launched the unit-linked insurance plan for the ULIP. From that year until 1986, UTI introduced several plans and played a very big role in introducing the concept of mutual funds in India. To encourage the small Indian investor, the government built in several income tax rebates in the UTI scheme. Not surprisingly, the investable corpus of UTI swelled from 600 crores in 1984 to 6700 crores in 1988. Clearly, the time had come for the Indian mutual industry to move into the next phase. Mutual fund history entry of public sector 1987 till 1993. By the end of 1988, the mutual fund industry had acquired its own identity. From 1987, many public sector banks had begun lobbying the government for starting their own mutual arms. In November 1987, the first non-UTI asset management fund was set up by the State Bank of India. This AMC was quickly followed by the creation of other AMCs by banks like Canara Bank, Indian Bank, Life Insurance Corporation, General Insurance Corporation and Punjab National Bank. This opening up of mutual fund industry delivered the desired result in 1993. The cumulative corpus of all the AMCs went up to whopping rupees 44,000 crores. Observers of this industry say that in the second phase, not only the base of the industry increased, but it also encouraged investors to spend high percentage of their savings in mutual funds. It is evident that the mutual fund history in India was poised for higher growth. Mutual fund history entry phase, private sector phase 1993 till 1996. In the period 1991 till 1996, the government of India had realized the importance of liberalization of the Indian economy. Financial sector reforms were the need of the hour. India needed private sector participation for the rebuilding of the economy. Keeping this in mind, the government opened up mutual fund industry for the private players as well. The foreign players welcomed this move and entered the Indian market in significant number. In this period, 11 private players in collaboration with foreign entities launched their asset management funds. Some of the top AMCs in the private sector were Phase of consolidation February 2003 till 2014 April 2014. In February 2003, the UTI was split into two separate entities. Following the repeal of the original UTI Act 1963, the two separated entities were the UTI Mutual Fund, which is under the SEBI regulations for MFS, and the Specified Undertaking of the Unit Trust of India SUUTI. Following this bifurcation of the former UTI and occurrence of numerous mergers among different private sector entities, the mutual fund industry took a step forward the phase of consolidation. After the global economic recession of 2009, the financial markets across the globe were at all-time low, and Indian market was no exception to it. Majority of investors who had put in their money during this peak time of the market has suffered great losses. This severely shook the faith of investors in the mutual fund products. The Indian mutual fund industry struggled to recover from these hardships and remolded itself over the next 2 years. The situation toughened up and more with SEBI abolishing entry load and the lasting repercussions of the global economic crisis. This scenario is evident from the sluggish rise in the overall arm of the Indian MF industry. Mutual fund history phase of steady development and growth since May 2014. Recognizing the lack of penetration of mutual funds in India, especially in Tier 2 and Tier 3 cities, SEBI launched numerous progressive measures in September 2012. The idea behind these measures was to bring more transparency and security for the interest of the stakeholder. This was SEBI idea to re-energize the Indian monetary fund industry and boost the overall penetration of mutual fund in India. The measures before bore fruit in due course by countering the negative trend that was set because of the global financial crisis. The situation improved considerably after the new government took changes at the center. Then ICICI Prudential AMC, HDFC Mutual Fund, Kotak Mahindra Mutual Fund, ICICI Prudential AMC. This company is a joint venture between ICICI Bank of India and Prudential Policy PLC of UK. It manages a corpus of INR 2,93,000 crores and has an inventory of more than 14,000 schemes. HDFC Mutual Fund. Launched in the 1990s, the HDFC Mutual Fund manages more than 900 different kinds of funds. Kotak Mahindra Mutual Fund. This AMC has an asset base of more than 1,19,000 crores. It is a joint venture of Kotak Financial Service and Mahindra Group. SBI Interventions and Growth and AMFI. As the mutual fund industry grew further in the 1990s, the AMCs and the government felt that it was time for regulation and some control. Investors had to be protected as industry has suffered a lot because of blank scams and there was a real threat that investor might lose their money yet again. Consequently, the government introduced the SEBI Regulation Act in 1996, which laid down a set of fair and transparent rules for all the stakeholders. In 1999, the Indian government declared that all mutual fund dividends would be exempt from income tax. The idea behind this decision was to spur further growth in mutual fund industry. Meanwhile, the mutual fund industry also realized the importance of regulation. As a result, it set up an industry body. The Association of Mutual Funds of India, one of the goals of this body is investor education. Since May 14, the MF industry has experienced a consistent inflow and rise in overall AUM as well as total number of investor accounts. Currently, all the asset management companies in India manage a combined worth of around rupees 23 lakh crore of asset. Though this number looks attractive, we still have to go a long way in order to match the West. It is estimated that Indians have approximately rupees 20 to 30 lakh crore annually. The Indian mutual fund industry can grow immensely if Indians started parking a higher percentage of their savings in MFs. Observers say that Indians have begun shifting a part of their savings from physical assets like gold and land to financial instruments, bonds, and silver. However, AMFI and the government need to be encourage Indians even more for investments in mutual funds. Types of mutual funds. Types of mutual funds based on structure. Open-ended funds, close-ended funds. Open-ended funds. Basically, these funds will allow investors to keep investment as long as they want. There are no limits on how much can be invested in the fund. They also tend to be actively managed, which means that there is a fund manager who picks the place where investments will be made. They are an ideal investment for those who want investment along with liquidity because they are not bound to any specific maturity periods, which means that investors can withdraw their funds at any time when they want, thus giving them the liquidity they need. Close-ended funds. These are the funds in which units can be purchased only during the initial offer period. Units can be redeemed at a specified date. To provide for liquidity, these schemes are often listed for trade on a stock exchange. Unlike open-ended mutual funds, once the units or stocks are bought, they cannot be sold back to the mutual fund. Instead, they need to be sold through the stock market at the prevailing price of the share. Interval funds. These are the funds that have the features of open-ended and close-ended funds in that they are opened for repurchase of shares at different intervals during the fund tenure. The fund management company offers to repurchase units from existing unit holders during these intervals. If unit holders wish to, they can afford offload shares in favor of the fund. Types of mutual funds based on the asset class: equity funds, debt funds, money market funds, balanced or hybrid funds. Equity funds. These are the funds that invest in equity stocks, shares of company. These are considered high risk funds but also tend to provide high return. Equity funds can include specialty funds like infrastructure, fast moving consumer goods, and banking, to name a few. Debt funds. These are funds that invest in debt instruments. Example: company debentures, government bonds, and other fixed income assets. They are considered safe investment and provide fixed return. These funds do not deduct tax at a source, so if the earning from investment is more than 10,000, then the investor is liable to pay the tax on it himself. Money market funds. These are funds that invest in liquid investments. Example: treasury bills, CPs, etc. They are considered safe investment for those looking to park surplus funds for immediate but moderate return. Money markets are also referred to as cash market and come with risk in terms of interest risk, reinvestment risk, and credit risk. Balanced and hybrid funds. These are funds that invest in a mix of assets classes. In some cases, the proportion of equity is higher than debt, while in other, it is the other way round. Risks and returns are balanced out this way. An example of hybrid fund would be Frankfin India Balanced Fund DPG, because in this fund 65% to 80% of the investment is made in equities and the remaining 20 to 35% is invested in the debt market. This is so because the debt market offers a lower risk than the equity market. Types of mutual fund based on investment objective: growth funds, income funds, liquid funds, tax saving funds. Growth funds. Under these schemes, money is invested primarily in equity stocks with the purpose of providing capital appreciation. They are considered to be risky funds, ideal for investors with a long-term investment timeline. Since they are risky funds, they also are ideal for those who are looking for high returns for their investment. Income funds. Under these schemes, money is invested primarily in fixed income instruments, example bonds, debentures, etc., with the purpose of providing capital protection and regular income to the investor. Liquid funds. Under these schemes, money is invested primarily in short term and very short term instruments, example treasury bills, commercial papers, etc., with the purpose of providing liquidity. They are considered to be low on risk with moderate returns and are ideal for investors with short term investment timeline. Tax saving funds. These are funds that invest primarily in equity shares. Investments made in these funds qualify for deduction under the Income Tax Act. They are considered high on risk but also offer high returns if the fund performs well. Type of mutual funds based on specialty: sector funds and funds of fund. Sector funds. These are the funds that invest in a particular sector of the market, example infrastructure. Fund investment only in those instruments or companies that relate to infrastructure sector. Returns are tied to the performance of the chosen sector. The risk involved in these schemes depend on the nature of the sector. Fund of funds. These are funds that invest in other mutual funds and return depend upon the performance of the target fund. These funds can also be referred to as multi-manager funds. These investments can be considered relatively safe because the funds that investors invest in actually hold other funds other than the, thereby adjusting for risk from any one fund. Emerging market funds, international funds, and gilt funds. Emerging market funds. These are funds where investments are made in developing countries that show good prospects for the future. They come with higher risk as a result of dynamic potential and economic situation prevailing in the country. International funds. These are also known as foreign funds and offer investment in companies located in the other parts of the world. These companies could also be located in emerging economies. The only companies that won't be invested in will lose located in the investor's own country. Gilt funds. Gilt funds are mutual funds where the funds are invested in government securities for long term. Since they are invested in government securities, they are virtually risk free and can be the ideal investment to those who don't want to take risk. Types of mutual funds based on risk: low risk, medium risk, and high risk. So, we talk about low risk. These are the mutual funds where the investments are made by those who do not want to take a risk in their money. The investment in such cases are made in place like the debt market and tend to be long-term investment as a result of them being low risk. The returns in these investments are also low. One example of low risk fund would be gilt funds where the investments are made in government securities. Medium risk. These are the investments that come with a medium amount of risk to the investor. They are ideal for those who are willing to take some risk with the investment and tends to offer higher return. These funds can be used as an investment to build wealth over a long period of time. High risk. These are those mutual funds that are ideal for those who are willing to take higher risk with the money and are looking to build their wealth. One example of high risk fund would be inverse mutual fund. Even though the risks are high, with these funds they also offer higher returns. How to choose the right mutual fund? With so many different types of mutual funds available in the market, picking one that suits specific investment needs the most is not an easy task. The investor should first understand their own needs. The next step would be to figure out what is the goal of investor is. Is it to build wealth quickly, at a moderate pace or at a slow pace? Once that is decided, the last main thing to consider is the risk that the investor are willing to take. The highest returns are generally observed to come from the fund offering from the highest risk. So if they want return quickly, they are willing to take risk that is fun to go for. If the objective is to build wealth slowly, then going for a medium or low risk mutual fund is ideal. Since mutual funds always come with a factor of risk associated with them, no matter how small, it is imperative that investors read their policy documents carefully before investing. It would also be a good idea to read the document, but to ensure that the investors have understood exactly what they have invested in and all the facilities that are available to them with investment. Regulation of mutual funds. Mutual funds are regulated primarily by Securities and Exchange Board of India. In 1996, SEBI formulated the mutual fund regulation. SEBI is also the apex regulator of capital market and its intermediaries. Insurance and trading of capital market instrument also comes under the purview of SEBI. Along with SEBI, mutual funds are regulated by RBI, Companies Act, Stock Exchange, Indian Trust Act and Ministry of Finance. RBI act as a regulator of bank-sponsored mutual funds, especially in case of funds offering guaranteed returns. In order to provide a guaranteed return scheme, mutual funds need to take approval from RBI. The Ministry of Finance acts as a supervisor of RBI and SEBI, an appellate authority under SEBI regulation. Mutual funds can appeal to Ministry of Finance on the SEBI rulings. Some SEBI regulations for mutual funds. Mutual funds should set up AMC with 50% independent director as separate board of trustee companies with minimum 50% of independent trustees and independent custodians to ensure an arm-length relationship between the trustees. Fund manager and custodian as the funds are managed by AMCs and the custody of the assets are with trustees. A counterbalancing of risk exists as both can keeping tab on each other. SEBI takes care of the track record of a sponsor, integrity in business transaction and financial soundness. While granting permission, the particulars of schemes are recorded to vetted by SEBI. Mutual funds must adhere to a code of advertisement. As per the current SEBI guidelines, mutual funds must have minimum of 50 crore for an open-ended scheme and 20 crore corpus of the closed-ended scheme. Within 9 months, mutual funds must invest money raised from the savings scheme. This protects the mutual funds from the disadvantage of investing funds in bullish market and suffering the poor NAV after that. Mutual funds can serve a maximum of 25% in money market instrument in the first 6 months after closing the funds and a maximum of 15% of the corpus after 6 months to meet short-term liquidity requirements. SEBI inspects mutual funds every year to ensure compliance with the regulations. Structure of mutual fund in India. Since running of a mutual fund involves managing of investors' money, SEBI prescribes comprehensive set of guidelines in the functioning of a mutual fund through the SEBI MF Regulations 1996. These regulations stipulate that a mutual fund must be a three-tiered structure consisting of fund sponsor. The sponsor is the main body that establishes the mutual fund. The sponsor can be compared to be a promoter of a company. The responsibility of the sponsor include appointing the trustees with the approval of SEBI and setting up the AMC under the Companies Act 1956 while getting the trustee registered with SEBI. Since the sponsors play the most important role in the functioning of a mutual fund, SEBI has a set of strict guidelines for the eligibility of a sponsor. Some of them are follows. The sponsor should have sound track of carrying out business in the financial service space for not less than 5 years. Sponsor also needs to have made profit in at least 3 or 5 years including latest year. During the same period, it is also important that the sponsor had a positive net worth. It should be contributing a minimum of 40% net worth of the AMC. It is also important that the sponsor had a good track record of fairness and integrity in all its transactions. For example, ICICI Bank and Prudential PLC are sponsors for ICICI Mutual Fund. For Birla Sun Life Mutual Funds, Aditya Birla Financial Service Sun Life AMC investors are sponsors. Trustee. Second is trustee. The main role of trustee is to ensure that the interest of the unit holder is protected while making them sure that the mutual fund complies with all the regulations of SEBI. Either the sponsor should appoint 4 trustees to establish a trustee company with at least 4 independent directors. Additionally, at least 2/3 of the trustees of the directors should be independent, not associated with the sponsor in any way. Some of the key responsibilities of trustee include entering into an investment management agreement with the AMC to define its functioning. They are also responsible for ensuring that AMC has all the required process, procedures and system in place while making sure that the key personnel such as CEO, CIO, the fund managers and the analysts are appointed after through due diligence. All the schemes launched by AMC have to be approved by the trustee prior to launch. The trustees will be reviewing all the transactions at the AMC on a quarterly basis while filing reports to SEBI on a half-yearly basis. Asset Management Company AMC. AMC is the investor manager of the trust. It takes care of the day-to-day operations of the mutual fund and managing the investor money as well. The AMC is appointed either by the trustee or sponsor after obtaining the approval of SEBI. The AMC consists of Chief Investment Officer, the fund manager and analyst who are all together responsible for managing the various schemes launched. The Compliance Officer ensures compliance for all the activities of AMC in line with SEBI rules and regulation. For example, HDFC AMC is the asset management company for HDFC Mutual Fund. While the above mentioned play the most important roles in creating and running a fund house, the custodian registrar and the transfer registrar, auditors and the fund accountants play a vital role in supporting aiding the smooth functioning of a mutual fund. Custodian. The custodian has the custody of all the shares and various other securities bought by the AMC. The custodian is responsible for safekeeping all the securities. The custodian is liable for keeping the investment account for the mutual funds. Registrar and Transfer Agent (RTA). The RTA maintains and updates all the investment record. The main function is investor servicing through its office and various other branches. Its function include processing of investor application, purchase and redemption transaction by investor in various schemes and plans. Auditor. The auditors are responsible for auditing of the AMC accounts while ensuring that the accounts of schemes are maintained independently and that of AMC. The fund accountants are responsible for calculating the NAV of the schemes based on the information regarding the asset and liabilities of each scheme. Thus, we can note that the mutual fund in India are a well-regulated entity with clearly defined structure comprising of several components whose roles and responsibilities are properly defined under the purview of SEBI. 25 years of private sector mutual funds, major reforms in the industry. August 1995. Association of Mutual Fund Industry was formed as a non-profit organization. It represents the SEBI-registered mutual funds houses in India. It is dedicated to developing the Indian mutual fund industry on professional, healthy, and ethical lines, and to enhance and maintain standard in all areas with a view to protecting the interests of mutual funds and their unit holders, says AMFI website. 1995. RBI allowed mutual funds to set up money market mutual fund schemes that can invest in treasury bill, commercial paper, call and notice money, certificates of deposit and dated government securities which will not expire up to a year. With effect from March 7, 2000, RBI removed its guidelines on money market mutual funds, and such schemes are absolutely managed by SEBI Regulation 1996. 1996. In 1993, SEBI mutual fund regulations were substituted and by more comprehensive and revised mutual fund regulations in 1996. At present, the industry functions under the SEBI mutual fund regulations 1996. February 2008. SEBI asked AMC to verify the identity and maintain records of the investors through mandate Know Your Customer process. The KYC was mandated for the investment of 50,000 or more. June 2009. SEBI abolished the entry load on mutual funds investment. Entry load was felt that was deducted at the time of investment prior to the ban. Fund houses were charging 2 to 2.5% of the initial investment amount at entry load. August 2010. AMFI under the Prevention of Money Laundering Act 2000 issued guidelines for mutual funds to stop accepting third-party checks except a few exceptions for investment. Third-party payment means payment made by anyone other than the first investor or the applicant mentioned in the mutual fund application form. May 2011, SEBI asked all AMC to provide an option to the investor to receive the allotment of mutual fund units in the Demat account while subscribing. Till then, many mutual funds provided the option to hold closed-ended scheme in Demat form, but the option was not given for open-ended scheme. September 2013. SEBI announced direct plan for all them existing mutual funds. Direct plans were launched with effect from January 1, 2013. Direct plan means investments not routed through a distributor. They have low expense ratio as there is a commission to be paid to the intermediaries. These are well suited for DIY investors. July 2014, October 2017 and February 2018. July 2014, Finance Minister in his budget changed the definition of long-term debt mutual funds from 12 months to 36 months, and any investment held for the 36 months will be considered as short-term. October 2017, SEBI announced categorization rationalization of mutual fund schemes to make it easy for investors to evaluate and compare different options available before investing in a scheme. The aims to bring uniformity in the characteristic of similar type of schemes launched by different AMC and to ensure clear distinction in terms of assets allocation, investment strategy, etc. in different schemes launched by mutual fund. February 2018. Finance Minister in his budget speech announced that the long-term capital gains exceeding rupees 1 lakh arising out of equity-oriented mutual funds will be taxed at 10% without indirect taxation. All gains up to January 31 were grandfathered through earlier. The long-term gains on equity investment were exempt from tax. Portfolio management. Portfolio management is the art and science of making decisions about investment mix and policy, matching investments to objective asset allocation for individuals and institutions, and balancing risk against the performance. Portfolio management is all about determining strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats in the choice of debt and equity. Objectives of portfolio management: security of principal investment, consistency of returns, capital growth, marketability, and liquidity. Security of principal investment safety or minimization of risk is one of the most important objectives of portfolio management. Consistency of returns. Portfolio management also ensures to provide the stability of return by reinvesting the same earned return in profitable and good portfolios. Capital growth. Portfolio management guarantees the growth of capital by reinvesting in growth securities. Marketability. It is always recommended to invest in only those shares and security which are listed in major stock exchange. Liquidity. The portfolio should always ensure that there are enough funds available at short notice to take care of the investors' liquidity requirements. Types of portfolio management: active portfolio management, passive portfolio management, discretionary portfolio management, and non-discretionary portfolio management. When the portfolio managers actively participate in the trading of securities with a view to earning a maximum return of the investor, it is called active portfolio management. When the portfolio managers are connected with a fixed portfolio which is created in alignment with the present market trends, is called passive. The portfolio management in which the investor places the fund with the manager authorize him to invest them as his discretion of the investors have. The portfolio manager looks after all the investment needs. Non-discretionary portfolio management is one in which the portfolio manager gives advice to the investor or client who can accept himself, whereas the service provider receives an adequate consideration. Process of portfolio management: security analysis, portfolio selection, portfolio revision, portfolio evaluation. Insurance. Insurance is a contract represented by a policy in which the individual or entity receive financial protection or reimbursement against losses from an insurance company. The company pools clients' risk to make payments for more affordable and the insured. Types of insurance: life insurance. Life insurance is a contract between an insurer and a policyholder in which the insurer guarantees payment of a death benefit to named beneficiary upon the death of the insured. The insurance company promises a death benefit in consideration of the payment premium by the insured. Types of life insurance: term insurance, whole life insurance, money back insurance, child insurance, and ULIP ULIPs. People get coverage for a tenure that they specifically choose. The policies could be availed by the people who find it difficult to pay a lump sum amount for the endowment assurance policy or whole life policy. The policy covers people for long as they live. They stay protected for entire life. Thus, this plan is named as whole life policy. Money back policy: this policy repays survival benefits periodically during the term of plan. Child insurance plan: these plans are designed to meet rising education and other needs of the children. A child plan offers a lump sum amount for the death of the policyholder, but the policy doesn't end. A future premiums are waived for the insurance company continues investing money on behalf of the policyholder. ULIP: a part of investment goes toward providing the life cover which the residual portion is invested in stocks and bonds. Life insurance companies in India: HDFC, Standard Life Insurance, ICICI Prudential Life Insurance Corporation of India. General life insurance. General life insurance covers insurance of property against fire, burglary, theft, and liability insurance covering legal liabilities. This category of insurance virtually covers all the forms of insurance except life and health. Common forms of general insurance are motor, fire, home, marine, travel, accident, and miscellaneous insurance. Types of general insurance: motor insurance, travel insurance, home insurance, and marine insurance. Motor insurance covers all the damages and liability of vehicle against various on-road, off-road, on emergencies. Travel insurance, also referred to as visitor insurance, covers against unseen medical and non-medical emergencies during overseas travel. Home insurance protects the house and contents in it depending upon the scope of insurance policy opted for. Marine insurance: marine cargo insurance covers good freight, cargo, and other interests against loss or damage during the transits by rail, road, sea, and air. Shipment are protected from time to time, and goods leave the seller warehouse till they reach. Rural insurance and commercial insurance. General insurers in India: Aditya Birla, Apollo Munich, and SBI General Insurance. Health insurance is an agreement whereby an insurance company agrees to undertake a guarantee of the compensation for medical expenses in case the insurer falls or meets with the accident which leads to hospitalization of the insured. Generally, insurance companies have tie-up with the leading hospitals so as to provide cashless treatment to the insured. Types of health insurance: individual health insurance plan, family health insurance plan, maternity health insurance plan, personal accident insurance cover. Health insurance companies in India: Star Health Insurance, HDFC ERGO, Apollo Munich. Thank you for watching my video till the end. Please like my channel, subscribe my channel, and don't forget to press the bell icon. Thank you.